Hey, welcome back to the channel. So we have here patch 3.4.14 details, and this patch comes out before the video in the Dislyte YouTube channel. So I'm probably not gonna make a reaction video out of the video, but we will do the PTR testing later after this. So let's take a look at Yunchuan Meta Yangjian and. Yunchuan is a defender. Nice. They changed Yunchuan's type from fighter to a defender. They can do that. They can do that. Yes. But because this is the same with Lily, so Yunchuan cannot be used together within the same team. And the more resonance you have on the old Yunchuan, gonna increase the strength of the meta Yunchuan. So that's gonna be the same. And he counters high DPS units. Nice. Yunchuan's power is further strengthened with Meta Yangjian's might. He will be unstoppable. So I wonder how he gonna counter these high DPS units. Let's see. Ability 1 deals damage to one enemy 2 times based on defense. If the enemy's defense is below Yunchuan, Screamer performs a pursuit attack. So you do want to have high defense compared to high critical rate and critical damage, but it is also depending on your purpose. Now, if you just want to deal damage, I mean, if you hit enemies with high attack, they definitely won't have high defense, so you don't really need that high of a defense. But if you are hitting like a Wuyo team, you definitely need a lot more defense on your Yunchuan in order to trigger your Screamer. So, Screamer itself deals damage to one enemy 2 times based on defense, reduces the enemy's maximum HP limit, and heals Yunchuan. So it's a little bit different. The previous dog gives shear to the enemy and deal true damage, right? This one reduces enemy's maximum HP limit and heals Yunchuan, but it doesn't deal the true damage. Actually, the one that makes the dog really strong is because of the true damage. So I don't know if it still retains the true damage or not, but we will see in the actual PTR testing later. So this is good. So if you give Avatar to Yunchuan, he's gonna be able to keep healing himself. And if you keep calling him to attack using Liam or Chuyao, then he's also gonna keep on healing himself, which is quite great because he is now having a high defense. So he's gonna be a little bit tankier than the old Yunchuan. So being able to heal himself makes him able to live much longer. Now ability 2, Heavenly Might. Yunchuan gains a few stacks of immovable object, don't know what the hell this is, at the start of combat. Now each stack reduces damage from all enemies, damage mitigation, nice. So it's making Moriyama even more important. Like I said, if you've been following me so far, like whatever moves I did, like whichever expert that I take, is always gonna be the best path for me to go into the future, you know. So Moriyama being able to ignore damage mitigation is a very strong ability to have, hence why I was very excited for Petros when he first came out, and then after that when Moriyama came out, my focus shift into Moriyama straight away. Like I really need Moriyama first before Petros. So this is the reason, yes. Because in the future, like, damage mitigation gonna be an important part into the game, so being able to ignore that is a very strong ability to have. After an enemy's active turn ends, reduces 1 stack of immovable objects. So after the enemy moves, this is similar to Iki, you know. So taking hits while immovable object is active heals all allies. This is also great. You're gonna be similar to like Sakura or Lian, you know, being able to heal your allies. And depending on the percentage amount of heal, I don't know, like, does this heal depends on Yunchuan's maximum HP, or does this heal depends on Yunchuan's defense, or does it gives, like, you know, a fixed amount of allies percentage HP, or how? Like, I need to see the percentage number to judge whether this is OP or not. This is quite good, but I'm guessing it's gonna be the similar amount to Sakura or Lian, probably. When all stacks of immovable object expire, cast Skyward Strike. Nice. This is like a combination of Iki and Wuyo. So Iki, you know, this part is Iki, this part is Wuyo. When all stacks of immovable object expire, cast Skyward Strike. No, it's not like Wuyo. Actually, Iki also do something like this because this gets triggered after you reduce all stacks of immovable object, which triggers after the enemy turn ends. So that means it's just exactly like Iki, but Iki have 3 different phases. This one is only 1, but it counters. It attacks the enemy using the third skill. Yeah, that's the only part that is similar to Wuyo, the third skill one. But I don't think it's gonna continue with the second and the third and the first skill, right? But yeah. So this is quite alright. That means that as even if you lose in terms of speed, Yunchuan gonna still be able to move. So the only thing that he needs is a Wuyo. Because if Wuyo is in the same team as Yunchuan, I think if I remember correctly, he cannot be disabled, right? Defender Esper who are within the same team as Wuyo cannot be debuff, right? I kind of like forget that part because I don't have Wuyo myself, so that part is a little bit forgetful. But your objective is to keep your Yunchuan from getting stunned. As long as he doesn't get stunned, then he will be able to trigger this after all 5 enemies moves. I'm guessing that the immovable object has 5 stacks, probably. If it's not, then it's probably going to be 10 stacks, who knows, we will see later. 5 stacks is best, but 10 stacks is also not bad either. So after all enemies moves, then Yunchuan gonna counter with his third skill. So you have Wuyo, you have Yunchuan to do this part, and they are both Defender Esper, which is gonna be a great addition to your Wuyo team. Now ability 3, Skyward Strike, deals damage to all enemies 2 times based on defense. And when Yunchuan has accentuated, which means that he is gonna be paired up with Lu Shang again. So, like I said, Lu Shang, the very important Esper in this game, like, MVP, right? That's the word, yeah. Very important people. No, that is VIP. The VIP guy, yes. So, for you who watch my video, like, you know, I mentioned that Lu Shang gonna play an important part, a very important part in this game, and he does, you know. And with accentuated, deals extra true damage and reduces the enemy maximum HP. This is insane. And with Ascension, Skyward Strike can't be resisted and won't bleed. It inflicts tear on all enemies. Great. So yeah, if you do want to deal AoE true damage just like GQ, you better use your Lu Shang within the same team as Yunchuan. The music, oh, it should be fine. So, where was I? Okay, Resonance 1. Stats increase based on resonance phase, the same as Lily. Resonance 2 enhances the effect of immovable object. Still don't know what immovable object gives, except for taking hits heals all allies. It's probably like just like any other golden buff so far, that they hide the passive effect of the golden buff. So we will see what is the passive effect of this immovable object. Is it gonna be OP? Is it gonna be not? And then Resonance 3 stats, Resonance 4, at the start of Yunchuan's turn, if his HP is above a certain percentage, he gets damage mitigation. Nice, another extra damage mitigation. So together with the immovable object, and together with this above certain HP percentage, he will have very high damage mitigation. And if we pair him together with someone like Sakura, and then Sally, and then Everett, he's gonna be very tough to kill. And again, you do need Moroyama in order to get through all this damage mitigation. With HP is below a certain percentage, he gets healing efficacy up. So if he is at low health, he gonna heal more through his Screamer. And also from his allies, and also from this one. Oh yeah, we don't know how he can get immovable object buff again. So there is no mentioning here how he can refresh the immovable object buff again. So we will test that in the PTR later. If it is only a one-time thing, then that is quite balanced actually. It's not making Yunchuan that OP. But if he can refresh the immovable object, then that is insanely strong. So Resonance 5, stats again, Resonance 6. When all stacks of immovable object expire, cast down Skyward Strike. Isn't it the same? And all allies gain a bonus turn. Oh my god! Wow! Wow, this is insane! Like, let's take a look at this example. Like, if immovable object is have like 5 stacks, that means that after 5 enemies moves, then Yunchuan definitely gonna move. But now if you have Yunchuan at Resonance 6, his entire team gonna move. It's even stronger than Iki, you know. Like I always say, like in a turn-based game, getting a bonus turn is a very strong thing to have. Too bad on Lushang PTR testing, like he's supposed to be really good. His Resonance 6 makes it that, so if he dies, then his allies all gain a bonus turn. But the problem is that Lushang is very thick, so he usually become the last person alive, so there's no use for him dying then. Yeah, but this one is different. You know, it doesn't require Yunchuan to die, but it only requires your enemies to move. So once your enemies move, you definitely gonna move. Wow, there's nothing stopping you from moving, you know. Oh, this is insane. Yeah, so if you are a pay-to-win players, this Resonance 6 is gonna be very strong for you, and definitely a huge power spike for Yunchuan. But for the free-to-play players, I think he's alright. He is alright, depending on what I said previously, like, you know, depending on the percentage number of the heals, and then also how much true damage you're gonna deal. Yeah, etc. He is more like, he doesn't really gives that much utility. So depending on this immovable object passive, I might or may not that excited to, you know, get Yunchuan. Probably the same as Lily. Like, he is great at dealing damage, but he needs to be the main character in your lineup. Like, I always call that kind of Esper, selfish Esper. So you need all the attention from all of your support Esper, and you cannot stand alone by yourself. But it is what it is. Like, you know, that's how the main DPS character works. You know? So how to play of them from Sick of the Unknown? Can I currently be acquired from Class Seekers or Ritual of Boxes? Yes, it is a limited Esper. So definitely do get one copy of this huge one. Now we have a new Esper, Wenlock. Hue Koyoto. Is this even a god? Is this even a real thing? Let me see. What? Is this even really? There's a god with this name? It's Aztec's god. God of the arts, Lord of music, and ceremonial dance, guide of adulthood and adolescence. Yes. Okay. This is an actual god, guys. This is an actual god. Oh my god, this is such a meme name. 5-star win Esper. Yes, Wenlock is a support. Oh yeah, by the way, how did he counter high DPS units? How? I don't know how. How can Yunchuan counter high DPS units? Like, there's nothing really says that he counters high DPS units, you know? I don't know. Does the heals you more the more damage you take? Is it? I don't know, like what makes him counter high DPS units? We're probably only gonna see that in the PTR testing. But now we're gonna go to Wenlock. Kyoto. Wenlock is a support who can grant allies critical rate up and critical damage up. Okay. Ability 1, What Hold. Deals damage to one enemy based on attack, inflicts crit resist down. Okay, not something that is interesting. Like, we don't really have a lot of Esper that having a critical resist up, except for Lian, you know. And ability 2, Free Jazz, when allies deal critical damage, increases their damage. When they deal non-critical damage, they deal extra true damage based on attack and critical damage and reduce the target's critical resist throughout combat up to a limited amount of damage. Oh my god, this is OP, guys. I'm gonna reduce the music further. It's kind of like easy. I'm gonna change the music. Okay, this is OP, guys. This is OP. Oh my god. Do you guys see what I'm seeing here? You know, when allies deal critical damage, yes, we have a lot of Esper that we do give Thunder Sand to them, increases their damage. Yes, this is great. Like, increase your damage output by a lot more because this is a final damage increase. So if you go to Counter Sonica, definitely gonna increase your defender damage by a lot more. But the problem is this one, when they deal non-critical damage, which means that you do not want to give your Esper a critical rate at all. This is someone like Momo, someone like Jinchu. The one that first comes to mind is your true damage Esper, the one that doesn't require any critical rate and critical damage. But they deal extra true damage, but it is based on their attack and critical damage. You know, so the thing is that, depending on the percentage amount of this, you can actually use this for every single Esper, including your true damage Esper for your Momo. You know, like for example, let's take an example of Momo first. If you build your Momo, you should give her full attack bonus. You know, but if you pair her up with Wenlock, then you can give critical damage stats to Momo without any critical rate. Because Momo cannot crit at all because her damage is already true damage, but now she gonna deal extra true damage again, and it gonna take both the stats from her attack and critical damage. And it doesn't stop here, you know. And it reaches and also for Esper that already deal critical damage, you know, someone like who's saying Elif for example. Elif can use critical rate and deal critical damage, but now you can build your Elif without any critical rate. You know, her normal attack gonna deal like, you know, the amount of attack that she has, like the critical damage stats not gonna be used by her attack, but it is now translated, like it is now changed into the true damage. So now your Elif will deal even more true damage. If you have Elif at Resonance 2, she will deal even more true damage based on both her attack and critical damage, and you don't really need to give her critical rate. Of course, the number, whether it is much more beneficial to just rely on Elif's own attack, so you do need more critical rate in that sense, but or to rely more into Wenlock's true damage and you know, ignore Elif's own critical rate, you know. But because Elif can be affected by critical rate up, that means that you can just get lucky with both, you know. Like if your Elif deal critical rate up, I mean deal a critical attack because she has like 30% chance from this critical rate up to deal critical damage, then she won't trigger the true damage. But if she failed to deal the critical damage, then she will deal true damage. All in all, she gonna win in both cases, you know. And also, what was I gonna say just now? And because it reduces the target's critical resist, of course you're gonna have more chance to deal critical rate up. But one thing that I need to test later in the PTR is that if you hit multiple times to your target and one hit deals critical damage and the other hit deals normal damage, will it trigger the true damage separately, or will it still trigger the true damage? Like, does this true damage get triggered for a separate multi-hit, or will it only trigger once? You know, like it triggers once per turn, but I don't know if it triggers for every single multi-hit that you deal. So we will see. But if it only triggers once, that means that if you hit multiple times, like if your attack hits 3 times, then as long as one of that hit deals non-critical damage, then she will trigger the true damage, which only happens once. You get what I mean? So giving low critical rate to your Esper now is actually very beneficial if you bring Wenlock in your lineup. You don't want all of your multi-hit attack to deal critical damage. You want at least one of your multi-hit to deal normal attack, which gonna trigger this one hit true damage based on your attack and critical damage. So this is great, this is nice. You can have more stats going into your attack and critical damage, and you can just rely on your critical chance using this critical rate above and also reducing the enemy's critical resist, which is gonna open up more variety on your equipment. Like all of your Esper, which has a soft cap of critical rate at 70%, all this time, you can just reduce that number to probably 30% or something, and you will still have a very high chance to crit while also having a chance to have one of your multi-hit attack to deal normal damage, triggering this true damage. And you have more stats to go into your critical damage and your attack. That is insane. Now, ability 3, starter, attacks all enemies multiple times. It has a chance of dispelling several buffs. Nice, we have a dispeller again. So this is why I just recently made a Runcy video. Like, you know, a lot of Esper went obsolete just because we have a lot of dispellers nowadays. You know? At the end of this ability, it inflicts attack down and critical rate down on all enemies. This is nice. So the thing is that with this sentence, it means that it is not reliance on whether your multi-hits dispel the enemy's buffs or not, whether your multi-hit hits the enemy or not. Like at the end of this ability, every single Esper on the enemy side gonna get inflicted with attack down and critical rate down separately. So it might have a very high chance of applying, but it still get affected by accuracy and resist. Now Ascensions, with Ascension, before allies active turn starts, grants them critical rate and critical damage up. So again, this is gonna benefit Elif a lot, because this is just like Sachiko, you know, and Feng Sun. Like Sachiko and Feng Sun are the two Espers that you know, pair up very well with Elif, because every time Elif moves, she gonna get a random buff from Feng Sun or a critical rate up from Sachiko, which trigger her own third skill before she is using her own skill, or in the actual battle, she gonna use her third skill after her turn to make a move, you know. So this one also gonna trigger that when allies deal critical damage. So, but you cannot pair this Wenlock with Sachiko. Otherwise, the critical rate up gonna overlap each other, and only one gonna affect Elif and trigger her pursuit attack. So when allies deal critical damage, increases the damage and blah 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 blah. Oh, this is the same. Yes. Now going to Resonance 1. Starter's final damage increases all 3. Resonance 2, new effect. Before fighter allies turn starts, if they have critical rate up or critical damage up, their ability could... Oh my god, this is OP. So you definitely do want your Wenlock to be at least at Resonance 2. Because again, ability that affects certain type of Esper, like fighter or defender or a support or controller, or skills that affect certain element like Inferno, Wind, or Flow, or Shimmer, are something very unique. And they have a long life expectancy for utility. Like there's not gonna be a lot of new Esper that can replace this kind of ability. So this one gonna be very unique on its own, and the utility that it gives, it reduces the ability cooldowns by 1/3. We already have Lu Xiang for the support Esper, and you already seen like how great it is for a support Esper to be able to, you know, reduce their ability cooldowns by 1/3 every single time your support Esper moves. Now it affects fighter Esper. Now imagine someone like Osana. Osana have a 2 turns cooldown on her third skill. Reducing that by 1 every single turn means that she gonna use her ultimate every single turn. How insanely OP is that? And then for Esper that deals insane amount of ultimate damage, someone like Intisar, although Intisar can trigger her third ability very often with her basic ability, but being able to cast her third ability more often is insanely strong, And there are a lot of Esper that can become very strong with this, namely, Ophelia, and then who is that? Embla also is very strong. Mateo is going to be really strong. And then, I'm just saying all the PvE Esper. And then Moroyama can already reduce his ability cooldown if he kills someone. He's not really that effective with this. Although if you do use Moroyama in PvE, then you will get the benefit a lot out of this. And someone like, Elaine, in Povetter's fight, Elaine relies a lot on her third ability in order to keep the Povetter sleeping forever. Now, if you bring Wenlock together with Elaine, you will be able to spam Elaine's third skill, which in turn is gonna keep Povetter permanently sleeping. And there are a lot of applications for this. Defender Esper for like in Counter Sonica, you can reduce the cooldown of your. No. You cannot affect Counter Sonica's first phase, but you can affect Counter Sonica's second phase with the Fighter Esper. Yeah, there are a lot. Pair it up with Oli. Oli at Resonance 6 will reduce his passive the more times he casts his third ability. Hence, pairing this thing Wenlock with Oli at Resonance 6 also gonna be really strong. He gonna get his passive cooldown up really quick, and oh my god, we're gonna try this out. I mean, we're gonna analyze this more when we hit the PTR testing. I'm gonna scroll through all the Esper, and we're gonna check which fighter Esper gonna get a lot of benefit out of this one. So definitely try to get Wenlock to Resonance 2, but this one is a championship Esper. No wonder he is really good. It's kind of like almost borderline OP, but yeah, we're gonna compete with each other to get this Wenlock. Hopefully we can get into Resonance 2. So if you do have the coin from your championship, if you keep them, if you save them up, then you will probably be able to buy Wenlock's copy from the shop, and you will be able to get him to Resonance 2 very quickly, and that is the way to get Wenlock to Resonance 2 much faster. Because Momo will be really good if you can get a Resonance, but you can have the same effect if you pair her up with Chuyao. For Yamato, if you do use him, then the Resonance is really good, but if you don't use him, then yeah, it's like optional. Like bringing Yamato is situational, but Wenlock is a really strong support. You can bring him in every single content. This is my kind of Esper. You can use him in PvE, you can use him in PvP. This is insanely strong. The ability to reduce the cooldown for fighter Esper can be used in many situations. And then upon successfully Resonance 4, upon successfully dispelling or stealing buffs, reduces target's maximum HP limit by a certain percentage for each buff dispelled or stolen. Okay, this is quite alright. Resonance 6, new effect, free just before allies active turn starts, gains stake 5. Press at the end of the turn. What is stake 5? Undiscovered. Can't be damaged, dealing damage. What? Can't be damaged. Dealing damage one trigger counter attacks recovers HP based on. Oh my god, this is insanely strong. Dude, the first question that comes to my mind is, what if Wenlock is by himself? How? Does he count as his own allies? If he is by himself, this will never trigger. I mean, what? It will never expires, right? If you don't have allies, it will never expire. You can never be damaged, and the enemy, you will never trigger enemies counterattacks. So, and it recovers your HP based on damage dealt. Why do you even need to recover HP if you cannot be damaged? What the hell? Why not? And you can still, like, you know, upgrade this a little bit further. Like if you pair Wenlock with Wuyo, Wuyo also never gonna move. You know, she will never get an active turn unless she gets hit 10 times. Because Wenlock is a support, you know, so you need to hit Wuyo herself. If you only bring Wuyo and Wenlock in the same team, only 2 of them, so you need Wuyo to be hit 10 times first before she will get an active turn, and then your tech fight will expire. But it is gonna be quite a long time, and you know, you can also bring Adrina. Adrina also reduce her AP every time your allies move. So it is also gonna be a long time before your allies active turn starts, which gonna make her a really good pair with Wenlock. I think if Wenlock can just keep on attacking the enemy, and Adrina, you know, just gonna keep on pursuing attack. And if she doesn't get her turn to cast her turn ability, then this tech 5 will never expire. But my biggest question is, what happens if Wenlock is by himself? He will never die. Well, yeah, I'm guessing, I'm hoping that the developer, you know, kind of already foreseen this exploit. You know, hopefully we won't be able to exploit this thing. But yeah, we will know once we reach the PTR testing, and we will see. So yeah, I'm more excited about Wenlock compared to Yunchuan. Like, he is such a really strong support expert, and I do want to get this thing, because this is gonna be really strong for PvE content, especially for fighting against bosses. Like, it's gonna reduce your fighter expert's turn ability cooldown, which in turn gonna increase your damage by a lot. So we will see a lot of new application of Wenlock within the you know, Sentinel Hunt and also Falsetto Fantasy. And championship, blah blah blah. So the championship is Gear Up, Obtain Equipment, Ritual Miracle Fafnir, and Dislyte Lane Shadow Stream. Of course, I'm gonna be competing in the Shadow Stream, because usually not a lot of players gonna turn their computer and start grinding Shadow Stream, like, you know, 10 hours. Because I keep losing in this too, you know, like a lot of players use up all of their stamina in here, but a lot of the time they cannot catch up in this one, because I have a lot of stamina saved, and also I have a lot of, you know, blitz item saved up. So yeah. But still, I'm just a normal player, so I cannot just, you know, get a lot of copy of Wenlock just by you know, doing that kind of strategy. And then boom, gacha, boom, blah, 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 blah. And the team mode to triple threat. So now class with fewer than 10 participants can take part, and you can now leave equipment sets, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you can see what other players use for their express equipment. Not really useful for me. Hey, nice! They bring back the 2x speed. Yay! They listen to our feedback. Right? Okay, resonance info. This like this as for resonance dividend. Explain you unblock. Blah blah blah. Okay, so that's it for patch 3.4.14 for tonight, guys. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the PTR testing. Bye bye.